There's snake in my boot. You're my favorite deputy. Hi,
Alright.
welcome back to me screaming.
Alright, Tart Story 4.
Tart story?
Tart Story. Toy Story 4!
There's a snake in my boot.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Welcome to episode 3 of the Commuters Podcast. Today we're talking about Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4! It's out, and we're gonna watch it. We already did shit.
Cool.
Is it a money-grubbing scheme by Pixar to get your money and watch it and sell merch? Or is it actually filled with love and tender care? Probably both.
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah.
Snake in my boot, you know.
All right. So who wants to jump off?
Yo, all right.
Dive right
Actually,
into this.
This is kind of like a segue into it, but what's your guys' favorite Pixar movie?
Okay. My favorite Pixar movie or my favorite Toy Story? Because I feel like
Pixar.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea with the studio.
Mine is it's between Up and Ratatouille. I can't say I like either one more than the other. Depends what mood I'm in, but those are my two favorite Pixar movies.
Okay.
I have to agree. Ratatouille was good. And Toy Story, the whole Toy Story franchise.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole
I loved all the Toy Stories.
And 4?
And 4.
Spoilers.
Whoa! I would definitely... I guess I'm someone that doesn't get the Ratatouille love, but I do absolutely adore Up, and I do absolutely adore Is Monsters, Inc.? Is that DreamWorks?
No, Monsters Inc. is Pixar. I'm ashamed.
Yeah, Monsters
I'm ashamed of your life that you didn't know that.
No, that's why, for some reason, I was second-guessing myself.
Don't second guess.
Yes, I love Monsters, Inc. That or Up are probably two for me.
Yeah.
But I guess it's telling that none of us consider Toy Story the best, except maybe Will. But you like it more as a whole.
I love Toy Story.
The only reason I guess I wanted to bring that up is because, like, you know, it's a studio with a lot of history now.
Oh,
like a
yeah.
lot. Mm-hmm. So, and this is literally, I think this is the swan song for, if you get what I mean by that.
I can, like, they're kind of ending
Toy Story.
that legacy of, because think about it, after Toy Story 3, which is originally the swan song to Toy Story, you still had multiple Cars sequels.
Good job!
Finding Dory,
I suffer from short-term memory loss.
Monsters University, Incredibles 2. Toy Story 4 is the cap, and I think Pixar's mentioned this before. They're done making sequels. They're gonna jump into a new era of Pixar. Like, they've had the original film here or there with, like, Inside Out or Coco, but it's like, I think now they're fully committed.
Yeah, this feels like the end of that era of, like, let's just keep pushing out bad sequels.
Yeah.
Because it, like, I didn't like, I'll be real, I didn't like Toy Story 3 very much.
Toy Story 3?
I didn't like Toy Story 3 very much.
Okay, wait, so let's take a step back then. What did you think about Toy Story 3? Did
Toy
you
Story
like it?
3. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It had its moments.
I love Toy Story 3, to the point where it's maybe my favorite of the trilogy. I think it's, like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to turn this into a Toy Story 3 podcast, but I absolutely love that.
Yeah, Toy Story 3 was good. Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I just, like, at the time, I think I liked it a lot more, but as time went on and I looked back on it, I was like, a lot of these, like, choices they made were very safe. It didn't feel like it was as much of a swan song. Like, it still felt like it moved on and told that story as well as it could. But there's a lot of things that I'm like, it still feels like it was a misstep. Like, if you haven't noticed, like, each film has their buzz jokes, and they get a little grating to me.
Yeah.
Even the in 4, spoilers, the thing where he hits his
inner
voice.
voice.
Yeah, his inner voice.
Speaking, I'll get this right out of the way. Spoilers for Toy Story 4.
No.
We're not going to be having
When he
non-spoiler
dies at the
sections.
end.
We're just going right into
Yeah,
it.
there's a snake in his boot.
Yes, there was a snake in his boot. But whose snake was it?
It was his.
Was it Buzz's snake?
Or was it?
To be continued.
No!
I enjoyed many aspects of it. Obviously, and this kind of goes without saying about Pixar, the animation's absolutely amazing. And it's like, I do like they deserve credit for it, because it's like, you look at other animated movies that, like, Illumination, that are so bland. They're just like, oh, here's some bright colors and nothing actually special. like the cinematography is just bland and flat, and the animation, the color, and the design. But then you see Pixar, and they're like, oh yeah, we actually know how to make art.
Yeah. The thing that's still so telling, like when you look at a Toy Story film, that you immediately know it's a Toy Story film, is the characters look like toys. Like, you know, Woody's got that slight shine on his hat because it's a piece
They
of
make
plastic.
them look like toys.
Yeah, which is so cool. Like, Bo Peep throughout this whole film.
Oh,
I
man.
love
like
that.
porcelain.
Yes,
Yeah, I
that
love
was
With
beautiful.
the way the light shines off
Mhm.
of her and stuff, I was like, that's some real, like, grade A NVIDIA graphics card GTX on.
The fur on any, like, stuffed animal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
it was
God,
it was perfect. It was like flowing. It was moving constantly like a real toy, fluffy toy would.
Yeah. And then there's like, I mean, there's certain little touches, like in the beginning, Woody gets stepped on, and then like his face gets smushed
Yeah,
in,
that
and then he
was-
pops up and he like pops it out, and I'm like, yeah, you know, you did it to the toy, like to get like that kind of material, the vinyl, and I was like, that made me think of like,
It's a gag that doesn't feel like, you know, pushed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
it's
that
just-
happens.
yeah, it's
I've
just like
done that.
you get it. I honestly think the cinematography, like, so you could, there's two different things. You have the amazing animation, but then you also have the cinematography
Mhm.
with the framing and setting up shots, and I think this did much better
Oh.
than all the other Toy Stories, which is
Much
like,
better, much better. That's a little bit of an understatement.
yeah, there's a few specific scenes that come to mind. One, the opening in the rain. The whole sequence with Woody and Bo Peep under the car, and then like they have the rain in the
The
background.
lighting in that whole entire scene was beautiful. I loved it. The shadowing, the contrast, everything.
Yeah.
It was like the shadowing on Woody's face and on Bo Peep's face, and the rack focus, everything out of focus, and just focusing on them. It was absolutely stunning.
What do you think about that scene, Sky?
No, that sums it up. The first thing I noticed is the thing I do think is that they started with one of the most visually appealing scenes in like I think any Toy Story movie.
Oh, man.
Oh,
It's so pretty. Something about the way the rain contrasted to everything. Like you could tell it's rain. You feel like it's rain. You feel like everything is like together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
There's none of that uncanny valley
yeah,
stuff.
everything
that,
just
I
feels like it
feel with-
belongs.
Yeah, it's crazy to me how far their animation has come. And especially in scenes like that. I mean, and the whole film looks
Yeah.
Yes.
to that standard, except maybe once
Yeah,
or twice.
There's a couple parts where like it's a little more like not as much going on, and I think
I
those
feel like
parts are,
that's the antique store.
well, okay, you say that, and I think there's a point to that. The antique store is supposed to be this like drab,
Drab.
boring,
Yeah.
soulless place, except for that one area in it, which is the scene when they go up
That's-
and there's the lights coming through
Mhm.
the crystals and stuff.
Oh my God!
That
Don't
scene
even,
looks
dude.
so
that looks
But
so real.
the point is, it's a place like where Bo Peep, it was so drab and boring that Bo Peep couldn't stay there.
Not to like jump ahead. I will say though, Bo Peep, good character, despite the fact
That-
that like
I know what
you get where I'm
the
going.
trope they could have fallen into is the classic, what do you know? It's the classic like Ray trope almost, or like the she's the scavenger, tough, like
Yeah.
completely
I
flawless.
feel like they avoid that.
They completely avoided it, and they did such a good job of giving her like actual character motivation, depth, and flaws that actually play into the story. But before we go really into Bo Peep and Woody, which I think is going to be the main discussion, I do want to mention another scene at the end with the carnival in the background, and you're just like,
that was good.
oh shit, man! Like these people know what they're doing.
I've never doubted Pixar's ability to animate.
Yeah,
I
They-
never.
they really
even
have to.
even the films like I absolutely deplore Monsters University because it took everything I loved about the first one and then was like, screw that. The main thing I was bringing up is like, I may not like that movie much, but God, it looks so
Brave.
good.
Brave's a perfect example. Brave is a really good-looking movie. I never didn't really care for it because once again, there's certain Pixar movies that's like, and I hate to use DreamWorks as like, oh, this feels like DreamWorks, but it's like there's certain Pixar movies where I'm like, yeah, this does not feel like Pixar.
You should be saying about Illumination because they're so.
No, because DreamWorks is better than Illumination.
So wait, so like, are you saying like, oh, you're like second tier? Not
Yeah,
like
like
Pixar,
it's not
but-
terrible, but it's.
I feel like that's a bit of an insult to DreamWorks sometimes because they've had some moments where I'm like,
yeah,
that looks
but the
great.
majority. Anyways,
Let's talk a little bit about the thing that when we first saw footage and stuff, like when they started teasing it, Forky. There was a lot of like controversy.
Yeah,
People were like,
I didn't really know what to think about Forky.
I loved that.
I actually like
Not
that a lot.
maybe not the humor part.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, I laughed at it
Yeah.
because I'm swine and have bad taste, but it's a very interesting thing to the universe. It's interesting as a character thing, and it provided a lot of the focus for the film as a whole, because like it's really interesting to have like the thought that in this world a child's love can essentially bring a utensil to life.
Yeah.
If they show it, and it's like it's a heartwarming scene to see as Bonnie creates Forky, and then we find out that because he's made from trash, his personality
Trash?
Trash man!
Tony Hale as the actor to cast, perfect casting. Like, legitimately one of the best casting choices, like, in recent memory. Like, it was so good to get used to his voice for that. From Arrested Development, if anyone's seen that.
Yeah.
But it also, he serves as like a son for Woody. So
Yeah.
like Woody kind of grows and learns more about himself while taking care of Forky, which was kind of some interesting commentary there. And he's like, Woody kind of learns that like he's at this point, because Andy's gone and stuff, he's just keeping on to keep on and not really caring about his own personal goals or motivations or whether he has any. And like they set that up really well, because in the very beginning he was gonna go with Bo Peep. Like he was gonna go with her, but then he saw Andy, like how upset Andy would have been without him, and Woody, being the like upstanding loyal gentleman that he is, was like, I have to stay with Andy. But then Andy's gone now, and Bonnie doesn't really need him. Bonnie's like, if she wants a cowboy, she picks Jesse, because which makes sense. Or well, I don't want to come off as sexist.
No. I think it's fine, and I actually think the whole thing with Jesse is kind of a nice little like nod at like passing the torch kind of thing.
To Jesse.
Yeah, which I wish there was a little more of that throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say all the old toys, with the exception of like Buzz and Woody. In fact, I would say Buzz.
Yeah, Buzz
take a back seat.
He definitely like Buzz got a little bit more than everybody else. But
he was still mostly played for gags though.
Yeah, I see. The thing with Buzz, why did they go back to his? Remember? I think was it Toy Story 2? I think it was Toy Story 2 when he met his clone. Like all the other Buzzes, and that other Buzz was so serious all the time. They kind of focused.
Robotic.
Yeah, they kind of focused on that in this.
I don't think so. I think
they kind of like a little bit. I feel like they did a little bit. They made him more of a serious Buzz, unlike Toy Story 3, where they focused more on his emotional part of himself.
I don't think so. I think it was more like him just chasing after his friend, trying to help him out. And it's kind of lost in translation because Buzz has like no role in the end, because most of this is more focused on Woody.
It's
and
Woody.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the problem. I don't think it's that Buzz's character has dramatically changed.
Yeah,
besides maybe the inner voice thing guiding him, which I'm like, Buzz, you've never done this before. Why do you need to now? But I didn't hate what they've done.
I'm not saying I hated it.
Sometimes the gag was funny, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, they're still doing that, and then
Yo, some gags in this movie are pretty funny.
I know
In like the cute way. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. So here's something that like really worried me going in. I thought Key and Peele's characters were going to be used for like really obnoxious comedic relief.
How you like that, cheetah? Huh? Wow! Yeah! oh, to infinity and my foot! Boom!
You know what I thought they were becoming, but they didn't strive all the way over the deep end for me? I thought they were going to be like the two Transformers from one of the Transformers films.
Okay, that's what I was afraid of.
And they
avoided that.
They almost got there. There was like one or two times I'm like, hold on.
Their gag, like they did the repetition, you keep saying something and it's funny gag, which is like a common like comedy trope. But the way they did it with especially the last one, not the last one, but the one where they go and they follow her and they're like, oh, she goes home and then she's
it's so elaborate. Like
so good.
I found myself smiling because I'm like, man, I get the joke, but jeez, you're really just going with it.
I enjoyed their characters. I also like the kind of idea that it's like they are these toys that sit and never get picked by kids, but they still want to be with a kid, and like
it's not even that they're not picked; it's that
no one can win the game.
Yeah, which is typical carnival trope. I like how their personalities, I think, actually match up with that, because imagine just being stuck up there your whole life, and the only thing you can do is like look down and watch as kids attempt to win you.
Yeah,
and you just get mad and mad
because they're not winning, and it's like, oh, come on. And it's not the kids' fault, it's the freaking carnival's fault. Shenanigans!
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Thoughts about the man, the myth, the legend, Keanu Reeves / Duke Kaboom.
Oh my, I did not know Keanu Reeves voice acted Duke Kaboom. That was amazing when I finally searched up.
You know what's weird?
What?
Not to detract from it. I've seen 2 movies in a row the past 2 days that had him in it.
Oh, what did you see, John Wick 3?
No. I'm about to take it back. It's time to go back.
Whoa.
I saw Scanner Darkly.
Never seen that.
Oh,
No,
a
I haven't
whole
seen
movie rotoscoped. It is surreal looking.
Oh wait, I know. Is it that the like weird animated sort of thing?
Yeah, it's got Robert Downey Jr. It's got Woody Harrelson. It's got what a trip! But that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But Duke Kaboom.
Duke Kaboom. That
Duke
was
Kaboom.
awesome. I did not realize that was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, and he had his own little character arc. You know, he was trying to get over his.
I think the movie could have done with introducing him sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Because
That's-
like when he shows up, you're like, oh man, this guy's just fun. And like it would have been more fun if he came in earlier.
You know, I thought the whole like Canadian stuntman thing was gonna be old real fast, but no, I was like, I like every time he's on screen for the most part.
Yeah.
Once again, showcasing that Keanu Reeves does have talent.
You're breathtaking.
His arc, I actually like his arc a lot because it's something that like I as a child have faced before. You know what that is? The fact that my toy has disappointed me entirely.
Are you kidding?
It's a commercial. It's not real. I can't jump that far.
No, he is the perfect example
It's
of
an-
how
yeah.
commercials ruin toys.
Yeah.
Because, Bichon was pissed because he didn't make
Why do you have to be mad?
far enough to go through the ring of the circle. It's like, yeah, that's such a common thing. There's a lot about the Toy Story universe that, like, they take toys and then they apply this, like, realism to them.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz
Lightyear.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear. I like the fact that there are toys that were in the park, and they memorize the time that a bunch of kids will come home.
And so they just go and play.
Yeah, the antique store. Every toy in there, like they have to attempt to make a life.
Yeah. Oh,
there.
I loved. Not speaking of good-looking scenes, when they go to get to Duke Kaboom and they go through like this noir bar.
Yeah,
like, it
that was
turns
good.
into like a detective thing for a second. And she's like knocking on the door, give the password or whatever, going through and all the lights and all the like the people. They're like, "Oh hey, how's it going?" And it's like I was like, "What the heck? What movie did I just walk into?"
There's so much stuff like that just shows that Pixar still has creativity.
They-
This film it still feels fresh.
The
Yeah.
director, first movie. That's his first
Really?
director credit.
Are you
Really?
serious?
Josh Cooley's this guy's name.
Has he ever done anything before this?
My guess is that he was in cinematography or something, like because of how good looking the movie is, like just even to next levels, like.
This guy is good then.
So we've been very positive about the movie. I do want to talk about some negatives. Just to kind of like,
Yeah, everything else.
Uh-oh.
for like the first half of the movie, to me, I'm like, why should I care? After Toy Story 3's like ending, I'm like, why is any of this important?
Well, with the Bonnie.
Yeah, a lot of this
Bonnie
stuff I'm like,
connection.
it feels very episodic, and I'm like, it doesn't seem like why.
See-
So I'll get there. It took a while to get its teeth in me, so I think that's more of a pacing thing, or maybe almost a story structure thing. It's hard necessarily to complain because they do kind of resolve it in the end. I'm like, this is why they were doing that. But there are some times where I'm like, it kind of lingers in the first half, and I'm like, it didn't need to. You could just keep the story going, at the service of like, I don't know, action or a gag. But like, there were scenes, like you said, I didn't even think about that. But like the toy box scene, to me, originally I probably would have been, or the sandbox, I would have been like, that's bad pacing. Like that scene's kind of relevant, but it isn't because it's building the world and explain.
There's a lot of that. In
Which,
this film.
now that you're saying that, it's kind of changed my mind on the
And
spot.
it built up to Woody
I'm trying to be
and
negative
Bo,
here.
and it built up to Woody and Bo Peep meeting again.
Well, yeah, but that was gonna happen regardless.
Well, it was a really creative way for them to meet again. You gotta give them that.
I have the opposite opinion. I think it's like it feels kind of like out of nowhere that
Oh, she
suddenly-
just shows up?
Yeah, I felt like it
But they
was
said
Oh, that's true. Because why would you have a porcelain doll in a?
antique shop that's like miles upon miles. Remember, they were on a road trip.
That's
we don't
true.
know how far they went.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
you mean what
just-
are the odds?
And then you find
Yeah,
it, and
the
then you find it
odds
in a
seem
kid's
so
playground.
impossible.
Then you find
I know,
Then you find it in a kid's playground.
Yeah.
A porcelain doll in a kid's playground.
Well,
Well,
okay,
she's
so
a
she
lost
went into the playground.
Well, yeah, she went, but still.
Like she went to the playground because she was at the antique shop, and then she just left the antique shop. But the question is how she got to the antique shop.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously breaking reality by trying to like
Yeah,
do
these are
that.
talking toys.
But I'm gonna. So you mentioned how like I just changed your viewpoint on that. So I'm gonna say the opening scene where they showcase Bo Peep and we get to see that flash of the past. That's great. it brought me back to, oh man, I miss Toy Story.
Yeah.
And then they open up with that scene where we get, you know, you got a friend of me, which I won't lie,
That was awesome.
part of my heart was like,
I mean, it's the nostalgia thing, but it's
Yeah.
also like, if you've noticed, once again, this is Woody's movie, so that was all from Woody's perspective.
Yes.
Which I kind of dug, because once it,
I also
like, yes,
like how-
a lot of the side characters do get set aside, and that is kind of like a negative, but it's also like, it's what I call the Infinity War syndrome, now that I just coined that term. Because when you focus so much on one character, Thanos in Infinity War, Woody in this, a lot of the characters who people love get sidetracked, like Captain America in Infinity War, or Buzz Lightyear in this, and some people who love those characters. But the issue is, it's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is Woody, and
His character development, basically.
yeah.
Before the thing I was gonna say is I wanted to talk about that whole trip down, or before we get to actually talk about Woody's like your
Character.
Infinity War syndrome and all that. The thing I was gonna bring up is more like I actually think that is a great group. Like the pacing could have been sped up for sure. I definitely do feel it lingers on the Forky jokes a little too much. For
Oh,
that
in the
portion.
beginning especially.
Yeah, it lingers too long.
On the trash joke.
Yeah, the trash joke. It's funny at first, and it got old, but I think it got old.
Like, they could have
By a
cut
certain
the
point.
gags, because they do the Forky trying to jump out into the trash.
A
for,
little
like,
too many.
They
times.
did, yeah, they did
15
too
times.
Yeah, they did a little bit too much.
Yeah,
but
but-
I feel like it was good.
Oh no, I'm
mean,
not saying
I'm not-
the gag itself is bad.
I'm not trying to say it's bad. I'm just saying that
It's
they
awful
linger.
and you hate it.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God, you're a mind reader.
Wow, he got you.
I got you.
He got you.
He got me. Oh my God.
But
I'm sure.
besides that, I think it's good. It's really good at explaining what point Woody's character's at through this whole sequence.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Which a lot of this is like really good at characterizing. What does he do? So first off, we see in the initial scene where they're in the closet that he's trying to like be a leader still, despite the fact that he's not the leader this time around. It's the one stuff.
Dolly.
The
Yeah,
mayor.
Dolly. I forgot that's her name.
Yeah, she's a doll named Dolly.
That's good. But yeah, you immediately see he's already been sidelined, and then
Yeah.
you keep seeing this, and you can tell that he's not happy like that.
Yeah,
he
no,
doesn't
he doesn't.
have a
He doesn't want to
purpose.
be in that. He doesn't want to
Like,
be in that spot.
He's, like he said, he's useless. Like, he feels useless. He is useless. I mean, and the thing he does for... The funny thing is he's still the best at leading, and he's still the best at helping kids. Because he goes, Forky only helped, and it really helps her because of Woody sneaking into the backpack and doing that stuff.
So
Because
technically,
he knew better.
you could blame him for the whole Forky thing even existing, but at the same time, it's because he had the best intentions at heart.
Yeah. But
and
that-
I think that showcases a lot of who he is.
Yeah, and Forky existing is a good thing because it helps
Yeah.
Bonnie, and it helps her like adjust to kindergarten.
I won't lie, watching her walk around and then be like so lonely, only for like a little fork friend to like
Dude.
bring her.
Yeah, that was.
This movie,
Some of the kids. Okay, so
And I
like,
loved how. The thing is that the portrayal of the school, how it looked on the outside, it kind of looked like depressing, like a bit, because it had like the stains on the walls, and then. Did you not notice? Did you notice that?
No,
It
I
had
get where you're
stains.
coming from.
Yeah, but then you walk
I
in.
need to rewatch that,
and it's
because
like
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's got stains on the outside of the walls, and she walks into the room, and it's like blue and gloomy. And
I didn't really put that together.
yeah, it's like blue and gloomy, and then all of a sudden Forky comes along, and you can see this lighting change in the whole entire environment, where she
Yeah.
goes from being depressed and sad and lonely to actually having someone as a friend.
On the topic of the kids, though, like that's true. By the way, we've come a long way from people animations.
God, remember
Think
how in
of-
Toy Story
think
1 they didn't show the humans like barely at all besides Sid because they don't look good.
Yeah, and now like they look fantastic.
Yes.
I never felt like I lost anything by seeing
Yeah.
people as opposed to the toys. In fact, I felt the world was even realer than it was
Yes,
before.
I love that. I love the
More
incorporation of the people.
And I won't lie, my heart, like, every time Bonnie was on scene, we got like any of that adorable stuff. My heart like wanted to jump off
There's-
his chest.
Pixar has like mastery of human emotion. At this point,
Oh,
They really do.
Inside Out doesn't sure seem like it.
well,
What?
don't make me recommend that movie. I mean that in a positive way because I actually like Inside Out.
I do too.
Oh,
It's-
you son of a bitch! No, how dare you? No, okay. Every Toy Story has its like scenes that are like, oh, this is where it gets you. The scene in this movie that got me the most was when Gabby, who we barely talked about yet,
I have
she-
a lot of good to say about it.
I've got to say, I've got a lot to say about
So Gabby, she gets the voice box, and then the girl who she thought was gonna want to play with her is like, and throws her in the trash. And then Gabby's gonna go with Bonnie, and then as they're going, they see this little girl crying in the corner, and then Gabby she helps this little girl. And I was like, that scene right there was like one of and it's also because once again the animation lends so much to it, because the girl was crying in a very realistic way and acting in a very relatable way for a kid, and I was just like, you can't do this to me, Pixar. Like I'm only a man.
There's a lot of moments where your heart just wants to jump out.
Yeah.
It's so good. As you know, you brought up, or I brought up earlier, the opening scene with Woody and you got
Bobby.
me. The quick montage
When they were going reminiscing.
It's such a simple thing, but it made me I got teary in the stupidest way.
But that's nostalgia based, I feel like.
Yeah, it is, but it's still it's a journey we've been through these past, it's been a long time since Toy Story 1.
It's been a long time since Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years.
It's crazy, and I think little things like that, the only reason that was as effective as it was is because of how long I think Toy Story's been going on at this time. And I think that says a lot to how powerful the emotions Pixar has captured in people.
Yeah. I mean, this is how you continue, they can manage to continue first of all, after Toy Story 2, everybody thought you couldn't do it, continue it because of how long it was. Toy Story 3 did it, in my opinion, continue it in a good, solid way.
Yeah.
After Toy Story 3, a lot of people thought the same thing, myself included. No way they can make a sequel that works and makes sense to exist.
Agreed.
They did.
And then they did it. The brilliant idea of focusing on Woody. But they did it.
I gotta say that the one thing that really got me, emotionally, was when Woody was choosing to go with Bo Peep, and that character transition to being he cares about the kid, to being a free toy, but he wasn't lost anymore.
You felt it.
I felt it. That made me cry. I'm not kidding. That made me cry. That made me cry.
I won't say I felt emotion for sure.
Well, yeah.
I think different scenes will have different impact on people.
Yeah.
I think I get what you mean. It's because it's seeing someone who finally reaches that happiness, which is what a lot of this film is about. Is
that
personal
being
happiness.
said, it was a little on the nose because Buzz is oh, now he's not a lost toy anymore, and it's
they didn't need that.
You didn't need that. The audience got it.
Well, it was. For the kids, it might have been. For the kids.
They probably just wanted to have
but
Buzz.
kids aren't stupid.
Yeah.
You know.
I think they wanted Buzz to be more involved at the end.
Some kids are, but I think I do think one problem with kids animation is they take the whole kids are dumb thing too far.
Yeah,
and that's one of those cases. But I will say the To Infinity and Beyond thing, that was enough. I thought that's where you should have stopped.
That was a good one.
But so Gabby, I thought I liked as a villain a lot. Actually,
she's not even.
She wasn't even
she
a villain.
No. And I love it when they do this in movies where it's oh, you set up a villain who seems very similar to Lotso Bear at first with having the henchmen and the and I was oh, this is just going to be another put them in the antique shop and kids will see you and be perfect, and then it wasn't. She was essentially a disabled person who felt that she couldn't be loved because of her disability, more or less.
I think that's a really deep thing, but yet I can see where you're coming from.
She was a toy who was defective from the get-go. She'd never been played with in her entire life, and so she wanted to be played with, and she thought this was the thing she needed to do it. And it's that's all they had to do was just talk with Woody about it, because Woody's he's like a Captain America.
I wouldn't say quite. That's not the best
but he's
example.
He's so selfless, and he's yeah, I'll just give you my voice box once you told me that's the reason, because he doesn't need it, and it's no, and it doesn't help her. And that part was so. In the theater I was in, when she gets dropped in the trash, everybody was "Oh shit! Oh shit!" It was so gut punching.
Yeah, I was I was
because they set up that scene. It was all beautiful, and it's Porky's "Oh, come see," and then
she was
which made me think of parallel to Toy Story. I think it was 1 when Woody gets put in the bin or whatever.
With after Andy gets Buzz, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's. I mean.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
No! I still feel that.
Yeah.
No, Gabby is a great character.
Yeah.
It really, like, I thought you were right. Like, for most of the film, I thought she was just going to be a Lotso Bear again.
That's what I was afraid of.
And I was like, oh my god, come on. And then...
Because technically, Lotso and... I like Lotso, I enjoy him, but him and, what's-his-face? The dude, Sticky Pete, are almost the same character. They're like an old man with a cane.
Just about.
Whereas Gabby, like you said...
She's different.
It's relatable. Her reason is completely valid. She's a toy that was never given the chance to love a child,
right,
or be loved by a child. You know that scene where they were talking after, I guess, you know, after the failed attempt to get Forky back the first time, and Woody tries to go in alone after, you know, the whole fight that I felt was really, I don't think it was out of place, but I was like, that might be one of the lowest moments for me. Is I felt like it's just adding like
drama, chase scene.
Yeah, I thought the chase was cool.
That was cool, yeah.
No, but when they have that conversation about how, you know, being loved by a child is the most noble thing you can do, I think it's like, that was a really powerful scene, and that was the scene I'm like, this isn't a villain, is it? This is just someone who wants that chance like everybody else. And it felt very in Woody's character to actually be kind and generous to her in that moment. And I 100% loved where it went from there. Because I'm glad that they didn't, like, just, like, cast Gabby out after she got thrown away, essentially. I'm glad that they redeemed that character. You didn't need to.
Yeah.
You probably could have, because you could have just said, oh, she's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You gave someone who wanted that love in the end because they were willing to help out a child who was in need.
Well, and that sets up, like, Gabby kind of sets up the calling for Bo Peep and Woody. Like, they help her get a child, and they help the child get her, and, like, so it makes both of them happy. And so Woody and Bo Peep, at the end, become these toys who help toys get kids, like, paired with the kid for them.
Which is such a wholesome and,
it's like the perfect way, after Andy, it's the perfect way to continue, like, for Woody. Like, he helps kids get their Andy.
Right.
And that's what, like, it's kind of like the perfect, like, arc for him, in my opinion.
Oh, it's back to the animation, the dummies.
I love the dummies. I love the dummies.
I like how the antique shop, like, everything in there, like, every toy you see is some level of, like, antique.
I love
Except maybe during, like, the quote-unquote nightclub or noir.
But even then, there were some, like tin toys and stuff in there.
But it's really cool how, like, everything in the antique store is really well thematically accurate. Like, Gabby's one of those really old, like...
50s.
50, yeah. And then, obviously, ventriloquist dummies that are, like...
those are cool. I love them.
They are so unsettling.
They were creepy.
And you know they don't talk in the movie, and I'm like, why all the other toys can talk? Why can't these guys talk?
Because they can't. Yeah, it's so unsettling, isn't it? But it's so good. I think it just again plays up to the fact that they do a good job of building like every place in this universe to a degree. Like the toys in the carnival feel vastly different from the toys in like the sandboxes or the antique store.
Can we get F's in the chat for Combat Carl, who was left hanging?
Oh yeah,
that gag was that was one of the gags. I was like,
one of the things,
sorry, bro.
I loved the thing. One thing I loved about the movie is that there was a couple of innuendos in there.
There were. No, I'm not kidding.
I love.
I'm not snaking his boat.
No, there was one, where the oh my god, those three little guys, the guy who's left hanging. What were they?
Combat Carl.
Combat Carls. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Combat Carl's getting played with.
I think we should wrap this all up by discussing about Bo Peep and Woody.
It's fine. The only thing I've seen complaints that people think that it's kind of out of character for Woody to throw away everything he's quote-unquote been about, but he really didn't.
He didn't at all.
People lose the love for what they do, and he technically went from being a favorite toy to being a sideline toy.
He wasn't even a toy at that point. He was just sitting in the... He was just helping them from the closet.
I think it's a natural thing that he's less of... He went from being a leader to being someone that helps others find their place.
You are a toy!
Whether or not you think that, like, that was a necessary thing to have, like, this pseudo romance thing, or or whatever it is.
But they've had it since Toy Story 1.
Yeah.
Like in Toy Story 1, they didn't even kiss or anything in this movie, which would have been weird because they're toys.
I'm
But
glad
in Toy
they
Story
did.
1,
Yeah.
I'm glad
she's like, "Do you see the mistletoe?" and then grabs him, and you're like, "Wait, what?"
I'm glad they didn't do any of that.
I think
that
hugging was fine.
Yeah.
No, it's enough to showcase like I mean, here's the thing: they're toys.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're not.
Yeah, which is
No,
just kind
That
of
little
weird.
caress of the face.
I think that was enough.
Yeah.
It's not. It got a little uncanny valley for me,
Yeah,
a slight bit, but I was still like, hey, they're toys and they do have a mind of their own. They do deserve happiness in their own ways.
and it's like they've always liked each other. Like, and he would have left
so
Andy.
weird to say, right?
Yeah, I know it is. He would have left Andy for her. Literally, he was going to get in the box, and then Andy came outside. Had Andy not come outside, Woody would have just went in the box for her because Woody, and even in the third movie, which she's not even a character in it, and they mention her, and Woody's like depressed about that.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing is too is she wasn't right in the beginning when he meets her. She just wants to run away and see the world, which is at the end not what happens. At the end, what happens is they help toys find kids, and but Bo Peep wasn't originally going to do that. 'Cause she didn't care about kids at first, and then going through the movie, Woody kind of reconvinces her to care about kids again. And she convinces Woody to follow, find happiness with, her. But, which, like, they could have done the whole, oh, she was right from the get-go thing, and Woody was wrong the whole time. But Woody wasn't wrong. Woody just had to kind of evolve from what he was before. But he still had, like, the base traits of Woody, which is loyalty and helping kids and making sure a kid and the toy are happy, still stay with Woody. And then she regains those traits because of Woody at the end, which I like.
I think this whole movie just showcases that Woody is a really good character.
Yeah.
He's so likable, but he's like likable in the most realistic of ways. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
No, I
it's,
don't-
it's
no,
weird
yeah.
to apply
He's like
that.
he's like an uncle or a dad or something who's just like
There's a snake in my book.
exactly.
Like I don't know why that's what I was thinking, but like, yeah, I told you guys in my text, I was like, this is one of the most pleasant surprises of the summer,
Yeah, 'cause
or maybe the year for me, because I was like, my expectations were so low.
Mine were so
I
low.
actually didn't care.
I didn't know what to expect when I
Because,
saw it.
like I said, I was lukewarm to Toy Story 3. But mind you, I'm not saying I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it could have been
Keep bear
way
in mind,
better.
Toy Story 3 and Up are the only two Pixar movies that were nominated for Best Picture.
That's really depressing to me. Consider, Up deserved it.
Oh, you know why Ratatouille would never get a nomination, don't you? For Best Picture?
Why is that?
Because the whole movie insults critics.
Oh, you're right!
They literally say in the
Oh, it
movie, a criticism is completely like the criticism of critics for the sake of criticizing things is ultimately meaningless. And I was like,
It
yeah,
would be such a middle finger to like...
it was the middle finger to critics.
I mean, to be fair, it's right. Critics don't know what they're talking about.
Critics suck. That's why you gotta listen
Yeah.
to college students.
Cod students?
Cottage Inn Pizza. Papa John's.
Cod
Don't
students?
say pizza,
Call of
please.
Duty? Are we talking about games now?
Anyways, no.
Going back
Let's
to-
wrap this up. We got really sidetracked. Okay.
Oh,
let's-
wait. What did you think of... We gotta let this...
Woody and Bo Peep.
Yeah,
What
seriously,
did you think,
guys.
Bud?
Don't
Sorry.
touch me. I will break your... Don't. I love the way that they portrayed Woody and Bo Peep. When during a certain scene, when they were talking about Woody, and then all of a sudden you just see Bo Peep's like face change. Like she's right. That character's right. I forgot who was talking, but that realization that Bo Peep is like, yeah, Woody does do this. I thought that Bo Peep was gonna go back with Woody into the
Was that the... that was like the little thing.
giggly
Oh, the
little police
McDimples,
officer.
something
Yeah,
McDimples.
some giggly McDimples or whatever. Yeah, I thought that she was gonna go back with Woody and then
I
go the
forgot that
whole.
was a character. I'm glad you reminded
Yeah,
me.
I honestly.
I thought she was
it
gonna
was
go
so
back.
tiny I could barely remember.
I thought she was gonna go back with the gang after that talk because she realized that Woody does all this for he cares about so many people, especially the kid, and he also cares about the other toys, and he has so much to take care of, and he has all these responsibilities, and he's loyal, and it's all this and that, and she realizes, and that's why she was gonna go back with him. But then when at the end when Woody went with her, that was just like amazing twist to me.
Well, because he wasn't lost.
Yeah.
Basil Kiddo. I'm also a sucker for the Tyrannosaurus because of her voice actors.
Oh, Rex.
Yeah, no, not Rex.
Oh, Triceratops. Oh, because it's
It's I know she does Louise from Bob's Burgers.
yeah, she played in. She's in Mabel from Gravity Falls.
Yeah. Well, I'm such a sucker for her voice, so like.
Yeah, it does suck that Don Rickles died, so they weren't able to do any stuff new for Mr. Potato Head, so they just reused some lines that they had.
I respect that.
Yeah. Oh, I respect them not trying to recast him or anything, because he defined that character.
Yeah, Disney.
Also, props to Pixar for getting the original voice actor who did Bo Peep back.
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yep.
Was that the
Annie Potts.
Yeah. I did not know Annie Potts did Bo Peep.
Yeah, she's
I did
the
not know that.
secretary from Ghostbusters.
And she, if you've seen
That's
Young
dedication.
Sheldon, CBS.
Who cares?
Nobody wants to watch that.
I watched it. It's a good series. Screw you.
I have actually heard Young Sheldon isn't as like cringy.
No, it's not. It's good.
Toy Story 4. If you love the first 3 movies, absolutely watch it and watch it twice. If you've never seen Toy Story movie, I think you can still watch it, get a lot out of it, and enjoy it, because I don't think you won't get the nostalgia factor, but the animation's fantastic, the story's still very, very good, and especially with Woody's character. Like, it's a very good standalone movie that is pleasing to new people and old people alike. So yeah, just go out and watch it and give Disney all your money.
So I'm gonna give us like a lot of praise. Pixar outdid themselves this time. I loved it. It was. What?
I'm just making faces.
Yeah, but they outdid themselves this time. I loved every single minute of the movie. The animation, the lifelike part, like lifelike scenes, like when they were doing the commercial for Duke Kaboom. That looked so real. They look so real. And when Bo Peep and Woody were on top of the carousel, like during in the middle of the movie, looking around, that was so beautiful and surreal. Honestly, it was probably the best like animated movie I've seen in a long time, and I would recommend this to anybody who who has nostalgia for the first 3 movies, and who just wants a movie with like emotion and just gripping like story basically to it.
I have a question.
What's the
Did
question?
you say this is a fantastic anime film? I'd say watch it. If you've seen at least one Toy Story movie, definitely watch it, because like you get a lot of nostalgia for that old stuff, and like that's like, as someone who absolutely adores the first 2 films and obviously has a mediocre opinion of the 3rd one, and some people would think less of me for it. I absolutely adore Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is just like, it was such a good send-off, and I hope this is a real send-off. I hope we don't get another one.
Yeah, I don't either.
If we get another, I think all my goodwill will be gone, because I really don't need another one.
Yeah.
No.
This felt just right, except for maybe the fact that some characters didn't get a send-off. Buzz Lightyear. He doesn't need it, though. And I think that's the thing about this film, is like, it's a send-off to the original main character. The one who's like, you know, he's been here since the start.
Yeah.
We all like him. We all meme him with his weird, creepy face. But I absolutely adored Toy Story 4, and I would definitely say go watch it, even if you haven't seen one of them.
I
Because
agree.
like Basil said, yeah, it's a great standalone film, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird how well it can stand on its own, because
I
it
think
established...
all the Toy Story movies, I think, stand on their own
Yeah,
as
'cause-
stories. Like, they do a very good job of continuing these characters while also being extremely good standalone stories.
Like, they established the entire like point of the plot from the get-go, and it doesn't feel like the only thing you get is the little things,
Yeah.
like from Toy Story 1 to allude to that bigger plot. Besides maybe like why they're not with Andy anymore.
Yeah,
if
which
you've
they
never
show
saw
in 4.
3. Yeah. So yeah, in the end, I definitely say even as a standalone film, it's really good.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so now we just have to go into our recommendation for next week.
Well-
So there were a couple of options on the table. We were thinking about doing Spider-Man Far From Home, but I want to take us a step back. Before we do Spider-Man Far From Home, what are your thoughts on doing the original Spider-Man 2? And then we're going to do the Spider-Man 2.
Why don't we watch Spider-Man 3?
Never! But no, you guys cool with that? We'll do Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 next week. Join us next time for Spider-Man 2.
Next time,
That might be
Spider-Man
good.
2,
Commuters out.
Dr. Octopus.